jamming out. 1 second. So I've tried to do a video twice in my high-tech camera with my lighting and all that good stuff with a nice background, and it hasn't worked, so I just wanted to shoot from the laptop so I can get you the video today that I promised. Today we are going to be talking all about part 2 of phase 1 of beating binge eating, which is the foundation for food freedom forever. So last week we talked about really quieting down the survival mechanism so you can stop fighting against your brain and your body and start working with it. This week we're going to talk about the second part of that process, and it's really understanding what's happening in your brain that's causing you to binge eat and taking you back to these compulsive behaviors over and over. So typically there are 2 schools of thought when it comes to binge eating recovery, I'll call it for the sake of this video. One is that you have to stop restricting and eat intuitively. And then the other one is it's a deep emotional problem or an emotional wound that you need to heal, or my goodness, like a self-love deficit, or you're numbing with food, or whatever that might be. While your relationship with food can link back to some of those deeper emotional things, and while we do have to release restriction and learn how to tap into our body and eat intuitively, doing those things alone doesn't work. So that's why something like intuitive eating should just be used as a tool, as a part of the process, versus like the end-all cure-all for binge eating. And I'm in an intuitive eating group on Facebook, and I can see it does not work. It's just a little piece of the puzzle. And just like doing all that deep emotional work that they do in therapy and all that inner healing, I'm not knocking it by any means. However, that is not the whole picture in beating binge eating. And you have to remember, binge eating just got put on the spectrum of eating disorders not too long ago. So quite frankly, I personally think that the information is outdated and they're missing a massive part of the puzzle, which is neuroscience, the brain. Here's the thing. You have the power to reprogram your brain, reprogram your behavior, and create a new normal for yourself. And what happens with binge eaters is their kind of urges to binge eat come from this very automatic layer of the brain. It's what some scientists call the mammal brain, or not the mammal brain, I'm sorry, the reptilian brain or the monkey brain. It's a very primitive part of the brain. I call it the primal brain. And then you have this area of the brain up here. That's where you are, your personality, your goals, your wants to be this healthy, happy person. And what happens is, since the urges to binge come from this automatic portion, they go on autopilot. They're very irrational. It almost feels like an out-of-body experience sometimes. And then you try to use this conscious reasoning, like whatever maybe a psychologist told you to do, write the 10 reasons why you don't want to binge, and write your goals, and write out how you'll feel, or do a meditation. And the thing is those conscious pieces, they don't work. It's not that they don't work. Let me correct that. They can work, but you have to break the pattern first, and you have to learn how to separate yourself from your urges and condition your urges to become non-existent, and you have to learn to be objective with them and not tie all this emotional torment and things to them. Because the truth is, it's not stress that's making you eat. It's not the restriction that's making you eat. It's not any of these things, any of these pieces. It is the urge to binge. So how do we get rid of that urge to binge and reprogram it to become non-existent? I go into that in detail in my Beating Binge Eating Blueprint program, because I do believe that's phase 1 of the process. And then once you get your power over your urges, you can move into phase 2 and 3, which are things like learning to listen to your body, honor your body, and so forth, and healing some of your relationship with food, with your body, and doing some of that deeper internal work. But that stuff doesn't work if the automatic patterns of binge eating are still there. So that's why people that pick up books and try different pieces of the puzzle feel like failures, because that automatic stuff keeps happening. So I want to give you a tool now just to kind of start the aspect of the separation. So think about it this way. I told you have 2 parts of your brain. I'm going to call it higher and lower. Catherine Hansen talks about this in her book, Brain Over Binge. I've studied that book and many, many others on neuroplasticity, the science of the brain, and addiction, and so forth. That's led me to this knowledge. But if you need like a short little snippet of it, she's got a great book for you there. But just to kind of give you an idea, those urge voices that come from that primal brain, they sound just like you. And they do rationalizations. They make you think about food all the time and want to eat all the time, and they give you rationalizations like, eat this, you can start over tomorrow. Do this, you can work it off later. You ate good today. 1 cookie's not going to hurt. Oh, go back and have another one. Oh, you already screwed your diet up. You better keep eating. Oh, just this one last time. Oh, you're never going to beat this. You might as well eat anyway. And these voices sound like you. What's important to remember is those voices are coming from that irrational, automatic part of your brain. They're not coming from you, the you and your power, the you with your personality, the highest version of you, your personality. They're not coming from that area. So you need to learn to separate and then begin to observe what this tricky little urge voice is doing. So a really good exercise is really identifying the difference between that compulsive urge voice and the difference between you and your hunger, and start to separate what it looks like to have a normal craving, because normal eaters have cravings, and a compulsive binge. And when you hear those more compulsive voices, start to realize that it's not you and dismiss those urges and observe them as nothing but mental junk, because that's all they are. So this is just the first part of the process of the separation, but this awareness alone gives you so much power, and you begin to see that it's not you, you're not broken, you don't have to heal all these things. Your brain has simply built a link in your brain that's attached maybe some emotional stuff to binge eating, maybe some restriction to binge eating. But the thing that we need to do is separate that link. It's not that I don't want you to heal all your emotional problems as well, but it is a misnomer that you have to heal everything in your life to be free of binge and emotional eating. That means we'd all be in therapy till the end of time and all binge eating till the end of time, and that is simply not true. So I hope this video gives you your power back. If you want to learn more in detail, please check out my Beating Binge Eating Blueprint program. My girls are producing absolute miracles in their life in a short span of time, in 8 weeks. And if you want more information on that, you can go to beatingbingeeating.com/training. There's a 30-minute video training there that gives you peace, clarity, and freedom, and shows you the foundation for food freedom forever, so you can have the steps to break free. And you also have a chance to register and sign up for a complimentary strategy call with either me or a binge eating recovery expert on my team. And regardless of you choosing to go forward with the program, I can promise you that 45-minute call will be one of the most valuable 45 minutes of your life, because we will break down exactly what's happening, exactly why you're binge eating, and how you can break free from it in a very, very step-by-step, systematic fashion. So I hope you found this valuable. Sorry for the little delay. I think I'm like a week behind with tech difficulties, so I apologize. I will promise to be more consistent. And please, 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 if you found this valuable, click like if you're on Facebook, click share if you're on Facebook, click subscribe if you're on YouTube. There will be more goodness coming every week. Awesome. Thanks for tuning in.